Hello guys, welcome to today's class. Today we're gonna finish this unit, so it is gonna be the last class of this week. Alright, in order to do so, we're gonna start with the reading topic. Let's see. The first exercise says, read 3 descriptions about people's first cars. Match each description with one of the cars. Okay, so here we have 3 people who are describing these 3 cars. Each person is describing their own car. So please take a look to the descriptions and write 1, 2, or 3 with their owners. All right, do it. And when you finish, we'll continue. All right. Now, in the exercise number 2, we have answer the questions. So here we have these questions. Which car was very old? Which car had black seats? So try to answer them without looking back at the lecture. And when you finish, check your answers with the lecture, okay? All right. If you're done, I'm going to show you the answers so that you can double check. Here they are. All right. Now, in the exercise number 3, we have, what was the first car you drove? Or what was the first car you remember going in as a child? Describe it with your partner. Okay, so you're gonna call your classmates, and if you have a car or if you have driven a car, you're gonna tell them about the first car you drove. If it was your mom's car, your dad's car, what model was it, what color was it, or if you haven't driven, you can talk about the first car you remember going in as a child. Okay, so call them, discuss this, and we'll continue in a moment. All right, if you're done, we're gonna move on now to the vocabulary topic. Here we have, find the names of 6 parts of a car in the description on page 96. Okay, so what we have here is that we're gonna look in the descriptions 6 parts of a car. For example, here at the description from Cecilia Suarez, we can see that she's talking about the trunk of the car. Okay, so this is one part of the car. Take a look to the rest of them, and when you finish, we're gonna check them all together. All right, let's see. Here, talking about Cecilia, she also mentions the roof. Very good. So we write here trunk and roof. Then in the other description, we have that here he mentions the windshield wipers. Okay, we already had that one over here, but he also mentions the sunroof. It's not the same roof than sunroof. Okay, so let's write them down. Windshield wipers and sunroof. Very good. And then talking about roof, which parts of the car does he mention? That's right, he mentions the engine and the seats. Very good. So let's write them down. Engine and seats. Very good. So maybe from the context, you already know what these words mean. But what we're going to do now is that we're going to do a little exercise so that you can investigate the meaning of these words. Okay, here it says, look for images of the 6 parts of a car in the description and put them in a Word document or a PowerPoint presentation with your name. Okay, so what you're gonna do is that you're gonna go to Google or to any browser that you like, and you're gonna look for these words, but you're gonna look for images. Then you're gonna choose one image and you're gonna put it in a Word document or in a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, like this, you're gonna paste all the pictures from all these words. Okay, so do it, guys. There's just gonna be in total 6 pictures, 6 images of the parts of the car. Be careful, because maybe if you just look for trunk, the image is gonna be something different. So look for trunk of a car or something like that. roof of a car, right? Because these words can have different meanings, all right? So do it, and when you finish, we'll continue. All right. Now, I'm going to show you the pictures that I chose for each of these words. For example, from trunk, well, it's obvious that I chose this one, right? Now, but for the word roof, well, I chose this picture. This is the roof of the car, the part that is above the people, all right? That is the roof. And this, like we're talking about cars, it is the roof of a car. Then, talking about windshield wipers, well, here we have a picture of them. These that we can see here are windshield wipers. This, all this big, all this is the windshield. And these ones are the windshield wipers. If you divide this word, wind, do you know what wind is? And then we have also shield. So the windshield protects us from the wind. And the windshield wipers are the ones that clean the windshield, right? Then we have the sunroof. I told you that sunroof is not the same as roof because the sunroof is this that not all cars have. Every car has a roof, but not all of them have a sunroof. The sunroof is the part when you can take it off so that you can have more ventilation or whatever. But this is the sunroof. Then the engine is the most important part of the car. It is this, okay? It is where all the power concentrates from a car, all right? And finally, well, we have seats. This is very easy. It's just where the people inside a car sit down, okay? Seats. Very good, guys. I hope that there are no questions about this vocabulary. Now, we're gonna practice a little bit with the exercise number 2. That says, imagine you are going to buy a new car. Put the features in the box into a table according to how important you think they are. Compare with a partner. Okay, so what you're gonna do is that you're gonna take a look to this list and you're gonna divide it in important or not important for you. So it is up to you. It is about your opinion. Okay, for example, air conditioning. For me, air conditioning is very important because in the city that we live, it has very hot days. But maybe for you is not so important. Okay, so take a look to this and classify them in these two lists. And when you finish, we'll continue. All right, very good, guys. Now let's continue. Now we have a grammar topic. In the exercise 1, we have look at these extracts from the text on page 96. Match each underlined verb structure with a description. Okay, so let's see. Here it says, here it says, every weekend we used to drive down to the coast. The structure is we used to drive. Do you think that this structure we use it to talk about a single action in the past, to talk about a repeated action in the past, or to talk about a state in the past? What do you say? One, two, or three? Very good. We use it to talk about a repeated action in the past. Then in the letter B we have one weekend we went to the city. Are we using this structure to talk about a single action in the past or a state in the past? That's right, a single action in the past. And obviously when you say I used to have a little blue Fiat 500, we're using it to talk about a state in the past. When we say I used to have. That's right, guys. As you can see, the topic of today is going to be used to. Here we have used to and used to. And as you can imagine, we use this structure to talk about repeated actions in the past or states in the past. So let's take a look to the explanation. Here we have, used to is used to talk about past habits, repeated actions in the past or past states. So if you used to do something when you were a kid, for example, you can say used to. Like I used to play outside. I used to eat cookies at night. But when you use it, it describes things that were true in the past but are probably not true now. So for example, if you say, when I was a kid, I used to play in the park, maybe you're saying that right now you don't play in the park. Okay? And the way to write it is pretty easy. In the affirmative form, you just need a subject, the words used to, and a verb that is going to be in base form. And then a complement. For example, I used to go out on weekends, right? This is a past habit. Now, in negative, you need to pay attention because when you say the used to in negative, you must write the word didn't, but you're going to say used to without the. As you can see here, we have the letter D in affirmative, but here we don't have letter D. Why not? Because didn't is already used making the function of past tense. So we cannot write used in past tense again. So it didn't used to. And then a verb in base form and a complement. For example, my parents didn't used to let me drive the car. Okay? This is a past state, because in the past they didn't let me drive it. But maybe this has changed now. Now I can drive the car. Well done. Now in the interrogative form, it happens something similar as in the negative form. First, we're going to use the auxiliary did. Every time that you ask something with used to, you're going to start with a question word or with did. Then the subject, and again, used to without a D. You're gonna say used to, not used with the. This is only in affirmative, but use. And then a verb in base form, a complement, and very important, a question mark because it's a question. For example, did you used to work in a big company? I'm asking about something that was in past, a past habit. Did you used to work in a big company? As you can see, we're saying use without the. All right. So I hope that there are no questions so that we can continue. Here we have this question. It says, is it possible to use used to plus infinitive to talk about a single action in the past? Can we use used to talk about a single action in the past? No. When you talk about a single action, you use the simple past. You must talk about a repeated action or a state in order to use used. All right? Well done, guys. Now, let's practice this topic. In the exercise 2, we have look at the sentences. Where possible, replace the simple past with used to or didn't used to plus infinitive. Okay, so here we have these sentences, and only if it is possible, only if it is a repeated action in past or a state in past, you're gonna change the sentence with used to or didn't used to. If it is not possible, you're not gonna change anything. All right? For example, in the letter A, it says, when I was a child, my parents had a big old car. Okay, like we're talking about the past state, we can change it. My parents used to have a big old car. This is correct. But for example, here, one summer, it says, we went to Arizona on a camping trip. Like here it says one summer is a single action. So this sentence, you cannot change it with used to because it's not a repeated action. All right? So please complete the exercise, and when you finish, we'll continue. All right? Let's check the answers. Here they are. Very good. Use them to corroborate your answers. As you can see, all the sentences can be changed except for letter D and letter F. In letter F, we have my parents sold the car and bought a smaller one. Well, when they sold the car, this was a single action. They cannot sell the same car repeated in repeated occasions, right? Very good. As you can see here in the letter C, didn't use without the because it's in negative. And well, very good, guys. Now, the last exercise says change the sentences so that they are true for you and compare your sentences with a partner. So now you're going to change these sentences in order that they are true for you. For example, when I was a child, my parents used to, and you can say they used to have a little store, or they used to have a red car. Okay, like this, change them so that they are true for you. And when you finish, we'll continue with the last topic of today. All right, now moving on to the last topic, we have speaking, anecdote. Listen to Patty talking about her dream car. Underline the correct information. So I'm gonna play an audio, and this girl called Patty is gonna tell us about her dream car. So pay attention in order to answer the questions correctly. Here it goes.
Track 33.
My dream car is an old car. I love cars from the 50s or 60s, and my favorite is a Chevrolet. A really big, old Chevrolet. It has to be black, definitely black, with a silver bumper and big, flashy headlights. Inside, it's really spacious, with plenty of room to stretch your legs. The seats are soft and made of leather, red leather. No, brown leather. Brown is more sophisticated. Oh, and there's a beautiful old radio with Elvis playing really loud. I love Elvis. I'd like to take all my friends out in my car. I can imagine wearing glamorous evening clothes and going to a fancy restaurant in New York. As we drive down Fifth Avenue, everybody turns to look at our fabulous car.
All right. If you need to play the audio again, you can do it so that you can check your answers. And when you finish, you are going to tell your partner about your dream car. Okay? To do this, the first thing that you have to do is ask yourself the questions in exercise 1. But very important, you're not gonna ask the questions to your classmates. You're gonna ask them to yourself so that you can think of the answers and prepare yourself to tell them about your dream car. Then you're gonna think about what to say and how to say it. And finally, you're gonna call your classmates so that you can tell them about your dream car. All right? And well, guys, that's gonna be it for today's class. Thank you for your attention. And also, that's gonna be it for this week. So please do the workbook and portfolio on time so that you don't have to hurry at the end of the partial. And well, thank you for your attention and see you later. Goodbye.